Okay, I think during our last Ann Richards video, we talked about her working on the campaigns of several progressive Texans. Obviously, she did a great job there. Those people were elected. And then in 1976, her husband was approached by people to run for Travis County Commissioner. He didn't want to do it, and he recommended his wife. And she won. Ann went on to run for state treasurer, and she beat out the Democratic candidate in the primary. And he was actually the incumbent. And he got into some legal trouble right before the filing deadline for the election, in which he was charged with misconduct for having state employees work on the clock on his campaign, and a couple of other things as well. She became the Democratic candidate for state treasurer. She won. And she went on to run again, and she ran unopposed because apparently when Ann was in office as treasurer, she did lots of great things for the state of Texas. The accounting operations of the state treasurer's office was abysmal, antiquated. They were using calculators instead of a computerized system. There were checks sitting places, like they weren't depositing money and allowing it to accrue interest. So her stint actually increased the revenue in the state of Texas immensely. Also, she diversified the office as well. I think she ended up hiring like 25% women, 25% minorities or Black people and Hispanics, I think each. But she made diversity a focus during her tenure as state treasurer. And I should have included this quote when she was county commissioner, because the 1977 National Women's Conference was when she became county commissioner of Travis County. I rise on behalf of my two daughters who cannot find women in the history text of this, I believe it was country. I also rise on behalf of the men, the contemporary men in America in 35 states who had the guts to stand up and ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. Also during this time, during her tenure as Travis County Commissioner, she actually went to rehab for alcohol. She was a recovering alcoholic. She did get a divorce during this time as well. So before she ran for state treasurer, she and her husband divorced and she went to rehab. I didn't know that. When she ran for governor, she ran against Clayton Williams. That's him in this picture. She beat out Attorney General Jim Maddox and also Mark White, who had been a mayor of Houston, to become the Democratic nominee for governor. Now, Clayton Williams was a wealthy millionaire, oil and gas guy, rancher, and I believe he actually now is a billionaire. He sold his company to Noble Energy in 2017. So this guy became a billionaire eventually. He was the Republican nominee for governor. Now, Clayton probably wasn't the best pick. So apparently people were offended, and they probably should have been. He refused to shake Ann's hand during a debate. Also, I think he might have bragged about not paying any income tax one year as a multimillionaire. And somehow the dummy made a comment that basically compared rape to bad weather. He said, if it's inevitable, just sit back and enjoy it. Now, prior to all of that, I think he had been leading in the polls. But after he started opening his mouth, so needless to say, after all of that, the people of Texas decided that Ann Richards was their gal, and she was elected governor of the state of Texas. And there she is with her yellow roses, yellow rose of Texas. And I love how there's a woman guiding the carriage. And here she is at her inauguration ball with her boyfriend, her boo, Bud Drake. And they were together until her death in 2006. And it reports that he is buried next to her. They never got married, but they were together until she passed away. And Bud looks like he was a writer, journalist, and he did all kinds of stuff. So I'll let you look that one up on your own. But I don't know. Anybody that could bag Ann Richards is all right with me. Also, throughout, I think, the 70s and maybe early 80s, her and a girlfriend would send out Christmas cards. They wouldn't sign them. You know, you weren't supposed to know who they were from, but they're kind of funny. That's looks like that's Anne as Dolly Parton, and her friend, who does have a name. Let me see if I can find it. As Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. So the friend's name is Betty McCool, McKool. And I found all of these cards at Flashback Dallas blog. So go take a look at those. I thought this one was hilarious. The White House Cookbook, Nancy Reagan's All-American Turkey. Choose an old turkey, a goose will do. Shoot the bird, pluck off, stuff it, rinse, remove left wing, and cut fat. Sprinkle conservatively with moral majorum. Boil in oil, OPEC or peanut. Flame with Haig and Haig, cater to an elite view. Haig and Haig must mean something. I lied. Haig and Haig is a scotch. This one's cute. Dear Ronnie, I would have put the gender gap in your stocking, but it was too big. Love, Mrs. Claus. They're fucking funny. Now here's another picture with her and fucking Dolly Parton. I don't know what time this was, where it was, but I thought it was adorable, and I could not put it in because we love Dolly. Who doesn't love Dolly? We all love Dolly. Here's a picture of Ann Richards greeting Queen Elizabeth. And I think it was the only time that Queen Elizabeth has been to Texas. And you know what? That's right. That's right, Liz. She said she wasn't coming up here to Texas to deal with them men, them crazy men. So she came while Anne was here. God bless her for that. And I'm going to end this video here and finish up with one more. Sorry, I thought it could all fit into one, but there were too many cute pictures and little things to share with you. So follow me, repost this, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, or if you found something surprising or some information that you didn't know about Ann Richards, or anything that stuck out to you about the video. Let me know.